Earth's defiance, when humanity showed the stars their true power. Story outline. Part 1. The breaking point. The Galactic Confederation demands Earth surrender its advanced quantum technology. Earth's top scientist makes a breakthrough that changes everything. First contact goes horribly wrong when aliens attempt to steal the technology. Part 2. The silent strike. Earth launches a covert operation to infiltrate alien strongholds. Discovery of a dark conspiracy against emerging civilizations. Humanity's first major victory using guerrilla tactics. Part 3. Alliances in shadow. Earth finds other species who were similarly oppressed. Formation of the Liberation Alliance. First major battle using combined forces. Part 4. The Quantum Gambit. Earth reveals its true technological capabilities. The massive space battle that changed galactic politics. Confederation's brutal response. Part 5. Revolution's dawn. Multiple species rise up against the Confederation. Earth leads the charge with revolutionary tactics. The game-changing revelation about the Confederation's true nature. Part 6. Humanity Ascendant. Final battle for galactic freedom. Earth's ultimate sacrifice and triumph. New galactic order established. Part 1. The breaking point. The quantum core pulsed with an otherworldly blue glow as Dr. Sarah Chen made the final adjustments to her equations. The holographic display above her workstation showed numbers that should have been impossible, yet there they were, defying everything humanity thought they knew about physics. "Run it again," she ordered, her voice steady despite the excitement threatening to burst from her chest. The underground facility, buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, hummed with energy as the quantum core spun up for another test. Her assistant, AI Construct AIA, projected its avatar beside her. "Dr. Chen, this will be the 17th test today. The power draw is already straining our containment systems." Sarah brushed a strand of grey-streaked black hair from her face, her eyes never leaving the display. "One more time, AIA. I need to be certain." The test began, and the numbers flowed across the screen like a digital waterfall. Sarah's eyes widened as the results matched her predictions perfectly. Again, after 15 years of work, she'd done it. She created a quantum communication system that could transmit instantly across any distance, completely secure and untraceable. What she didn't know was that her breakthrough had already been noticed. High above Earth's atmosphere, cloaked ships of the Galactic Confederation monitored the energy spike from her test. Inside the lead vessel, First Observer Zixtal's membrane rippled with concern as it processed the data. "Impossible," it whispered through its translator. "They've achieved quantum coherence on a macro scale. They're barely a century into their space age." The ship's AI confirmed what Zixtal already knew. Humanity had somehow stumbled upon the one technology the Confederation had worked centuries to suppress. The ability to communicate instantly across space would change everything. It would make their control of trade routes worthless. Their monopoly on faster-than-light communications would evaporate overnight. "Send word to the Council," Zixtal ordered. "Earth has crossed the threshold. Initiate Protocol Omega." Back on Earth, Sarah was about to send her findings to the Global Science Council when every screen in her lab suddenly went dark. Emergency lights bathed the room in red as alarms began blaring throughout the facility. "Ah, what's happening?" The A's avatar flickered. "Multiple unknown vessels have decloaked in orbit. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. Dr. Chen, you need to see this." The main screen came to life, showing a being that looked like a shimmering curtain of translucent tissue. Its voice echoed through the lab's speakers in perfect English. "People of Earth, I am First Observer Zixtal of the Galactic Confederation. Your recent technological advancement has brought you to our attention. You have 24 hours to surrender all quantum coherence research and technology. Failure to comply will result in immediate quarantine and technological regression protocols. This is not a negotiation." Sarah's blood ran cold as she realized what she'd done. Her breakthrough hadn't just advanced human science, it had painted a target on Earth's back. General Diana Rodriguez burst into the lab, her uniform slightly disheveled as if she'd run the whole way. "Dr. Chen, please tell me you backed up your research off-site like I suggested." Sarah nodded. "Everything's in the quantum cache, untraceable and encrypted. But General, they shouldn't have been able to detect these tests. Our shielding was compromised," Rodriguez finished grimly. "We have a bigger problem. Those ships up there, they're not just observation vessels. Our deep space arrays are picking up massive power signatures. They're warming up weapon systems that make our strongest nukes look like firecrackers." Aoia's avatar expanded, showing a tactical display of Earth orbit. Dozens of ships had appeared, forming a blockade pattern. Based on their energy outputs, they could glass half a continent with a single salvo. Sarah's mind raced. They're not here to negotiate. They knew exactly what we were working on, and they came prepared to take it by force. She turned to Rodriguez. "How long until the defense grid is ready?" The general's face hardened. "That's why I'm here. President Walsh has initiated Operation Starcross. We're deploying everything." Sarah gasped. "Everything. But the orbital platforms aren't tested. No choice. But we need your quantum tech operational. How long?" Sarah looked at her life's work, the quantum core still humming softly. "Give me 6 hours. I'll have a working prototype ready to network with the defense grid." Rodriguez nodded. "You have 4. And Sarah, make it count. Humanity's future depends on what happens in the next 24 hours. As the general left, Sarah turned back to her workstation. "OIA, initiate Protocol Phoenix. We're going to show these aliens why you should never back humanity into a corner." The quantum core's glow intensified as Sarah began her work. Above, the Confederation ships waited in orbit, their weapons primed, never suspecting that their attempt at intimidation was about to trigger humanity's greatest leap forward and the galaxy's biggest nightmare. Earth's defiance was about to begin, and the stars themselves would bear witness to what happened when you push humanity too far. The silent strike. 4 hours had passed since the Confederation's ultimatum, and deep within the Rocky Mountain facility, organized chaos reigned. Dr. Sarah Chen's fingers flew across holographic interfaces as she made the final adjustments to her quantum network prototype. Around her, military personnel rushed to battle stations as Earth prepared its response. Quantum core synchronization at 98%, AirIA announced, its avatar now stretched across multiple displays to manage the complex calculations. "Dr. Chen, the defense grid is coming online. All orbital platforms are accepting the quantum frequency." General Rodriguez strode into the lab, followed by a team of Special Forces operators in matte black combat suits. "Time's up, Sarah. Please tell me you have something." Sarah stepped back from her console, allowing herself a small smile. "Better than something. AOER, show them." The AI projected a massive hologram in the center of the lab, showing Earth and the Confederation blockade. Tiny points of light began appearing all around the planet, hundreds of them, then thousands. "What are we looking at?" Rodriguez asked, her eyes narrowing. "Remember those experimental satellites we've been launching for the past decade? They weren't just for communications." Sarah manipulated the hologram, zooming in on one of the points of light. Each one carries a miniaturized quantum core. Now that we've cracked instant communication, they can work as a single networked weapon system. The Confederation's sensors can't track them because they don't exist in normal space-time until they're activated. One of the Special Forces operators whistled. "We had a stealth defense grid this whole time." "We had the hardware," Sarah corrected, "but without quantum coherence, it was useless." "Now," she gestured, and the hologram showed lines of energy connecting all the satellites. "Now we have the most sophisticated defense network ever created." Rodriguez's tablet beeped. "Message from the president. The Security Council has unanimously voted to reject the Confederation's demands. She looked up at Sarah. We're going to war. The lab fell silent as the weight of those words sank in. Humanity's first interstellar war was about to begin. RIA, Sarah called out, initiate Operation Nightfall. The A's avatar pulsed with new intensity. Uploading quantum protocols to all platforms. Defense grid achieving full coherence in 3, 2, 1. In orbit, the Confederation fleet's sensors suddenly lit up with thousands of warnings. First, Observer Zixtal's membrane rippled in alarm as reports flooded in. Impossible, it exclaimed. Where did these weapons platforms come from? Our scans showed nothing. Before the Confederation ships could react, Earth's defense grid sprang to life. Quantum-guided energy beams sliced through space, cutting through the alien vessel's shields as if they weren't there. The humans' weapons weren't just powerful, they were operating outside the known laws of physics. Return fire, Zixtal ordered, but the command came too late. The quantum network allowed Earth's platforms to predict and counter every move before the aliens could make it. Within minutes, half the Confederation fleet had been reduced to drifting debris. Back in the facility, Sarah watched the battle unfold with a mixture of pride and horror. RIA casualties. Minimal, the AI reported. Most ships were automated. The few crewed vessels were disabled rather than destroyed, as per protocol. Rodriguez was already coordinating with other military commands. We've got boarding teams ready to secure those disabled ships. Dr. Chen, we need to know everything they know about Earth. How long they've been watching us, what else they're hiding. Sarah nodded, but before she could respond, Aoya's avatar flashed red. Emergency alert. Detecting massive energy buildup from the remaining Confederation vessels. They're activating some kind of quantum beacon. The main screen showed the surviving alien ships glowing with an eerie purple light. Then, in a flash that temporarily blinded Earth's sensors, they vanished. They've retreated, Rodriguez said, but Sarah was already shaking her head. No, they're calling for reinforcements. She pulled up new data streams, her face grim. That energy signature, they have their own version of quantum technology. More primitive than ours, but she looked at Rodriguez. This was just their observation fleet. We need to prepare for what comes next. The general straightened her uniform. How long do we have? LOIA projected new calculations. Based on observed Confederation FTL capabilities and the strength of their quantum beacon, approximately 72 hours before their main battle fleet arrives. 3 days to prepare for an invasion. Rodriguez turned to her Special Forces team. Alpha Squad, you're with Dr. Chen. We need everything we can learn from those captured ships. She faced Sarah. Doctor, I hope you have more surprises in store. Sarah's eyes gleamed as she pulled up schematics for a new project. General, what do you know about quantum entanglement weapons? As the facility buzzed with renewed activity, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and dread. Humanity had won its first battle against an interstellar power, but the real war was just beginning. And something told her the Confederation wasn't the only player in this game. In the depths of space, the quantum beacon's message reached its destination. In a massive station hidden between dimensions, a being of pure energy reviewed the battle footage from Earth. Its consciousness rippled with something approaching respect. So, it mused to itself, the humans have surpassed their limitations far sooner than predicted. Perhaps it's time to accelerate the grand design. A signal went out, invisible to both Earth and Confederation sensors, reaching other hidden watchers throughout the galaxy. The game was changing, and ancient powers were stirring from their long slumber. The next 72 hours would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of the entire galaxy. Alliances in shadow. 48 hours after Earth's first victory, Dr. Sarah Chen stood in a room that shouldn't exist, facing beings that humanity had never meant to meet, at least not this soon. The chamber, hidden aboard one of the captured Confederation vessels, was filled with holographic representatives of 7 different alien species. Each had reached out through encrypted quantum channels after news of Earth's defense spread through hidden networks. They were the Resistance, the ones who had also suffered under Confederation rule. "Your quantum technology," spoke the Nexar representative, "their crystalline form refracting light in complex patterns. It's different from theirs. More advanced. How?" Sarah exchanged glances with General Rodriguez before answering. "We developed it independently. The Confederation's quantum tech is based on controlling existing quantum states. Ours creates them." A ripple of excitement passed through the gathered holograms. The Varine delegate, a being of pure plasma contained in an engineered suit, moved forward. "This confirms our theories. The Confederation didn't discover quantum technology. They stole it and corrupted it." "From whom?" Rodriguez asked, but the chamber suddenly went dark. When the lights returned, a new figure had joined them, or rather, the suggestion of a figure, a void in space shaped like a humanoid. "From us," it said, its voice resonating directly in their minds. "I am Observer Zero of the Precursors. We have waited millennia for a species to rediscover the true path." Aoya's avatar appeared, its processing patterns showing agitation. "Dr. Chen, I'm detecting quantum signatures unlike anything in our database. This entity, it exists in multiple dimensional states simultaneously." The void figure seemed to nod. "Your artificial intelligence is perceptive. We are what remains of those who first mastered quantum mechanics. The Confederation's rise forced us into hiding, watching, waiting for champions to emerge." It turned to Sarah. "You have exceeded expectations." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Multiple quantum ruptures detected," Aria announced. "The Confederation fleet arrives early." The tactical display showed hundreds of ships emerging from quantum space, far more than they had expected. The Confederation had called in everything they had. 27 minutes until they enter weapons range, Rodriguez reported grimly. The void figure raised what might have been a hand. "You are not ready to face their full might. Not alone, but perhaps, yes, it is time." It turned to the other Resistance representatives. "The humans have proven themselves. Shall we honor the ancient pact?" One by one, the holograms nodded. The Nexus spoke first. "Our crystal ships are yours to command." The Varine, "Our plasma cannons will burn for Earth." More pledges followed, each species offering unique technologies and capabilities that have been hidden from the Confederation for centuries. "Dr. Chen," the void figure said, "your quantum network can unite our forces in ways the Confederation cannot match. Will you accept the responsibility?" Sarah looked at the tactical display, at the overwhelming force approaching Earth, then at the unexpected allies offering their help. "OIA, can you handle the integration?" "Already modeling the possibilities," the AI responded. "With these technologies combined, the tactical advantages are significant." Rodriguez stepped forward. "This is beyond my authority level. I need to contact the president." "There's no time," Sarah said, making her decision. "AOIA, begin quantum synchronization with all allied ships. Let's show the Confederation what really happens when the galaxy unites." The next 20 minutes were a blur of activity. Through quantum links, ships of crystal, plasma, and materials humans had no words but took position alongside Earth's defense grid. The void figure shared ancient battle plans, strategies developed over millennia of secret resistance. Confederation fleet entering weapon range, AOIA announced. "They are transmitting. Surrender the quantum technology or be destroyed." Sarah looked around the chamber at her alien allies, at the void figure that represented humanity's ancient predecessors, at General Rodriguez, who nodded grimly, and at AOIA's avatar pulsing with unprecedented power. "Send our response," she ordered. In space, Earth's combined fleet began to move. Crystal ships refracted energy beams into devastating patterns. plasma vessels created artificial stars as weapons. Earth's quantum platforms linked it all together in perfect synchronization, while hidden precursor technology did things that defied known physics. The Confederation fleet, for the first time in its history, hesitated. Then the Void figure spoke, its message broadcasting across all frequencies in all known languages. You stole our legacy, corrupted our achievements, and oppressed those who sought to follow our path. The children of Earth have rediscovered what you tried to bury. The time of reckoning has come. The battle that followed would be spoken of for generations across thousands of worlds. It was the day the Confederation learned that their technological superiority had been an illusion, and that the species they had dismissed as primitive had united to forge something far greater. But even as Earth's alliance turned the tide, Sarah noticed something troubling in the quantum readings. Patterns that suggested this conflict was part of something larger, something even the precursors might not understand. The true test still awaited them all. The quantum gambit. The battle had been won, but Sarah Chen couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The quantum readings on her display showed patterns that shouldn't exist, echoes of calculations that seemed to predict their very victories. LRA, analyze these frequency anomalies, she ordered, sending the data to her AI companion. They were back in the Rocky Mountain facility, now transformed into a joint command center for the allied species. The void figure of Observer Zero materialized beside her. You sense it too, then, the discord in the quantum field. The Confederation's retreat was too organized, Sarah said, studying the battle data. Almost like they wanted us to win, Rodriguez finished, entering the command center. The general had dark circles under her eyes after 48 hours of continuous operations. Our boarding teams finished analyzing the captured ships. You need to see this. The tactical display lit up with new information. The Confederation fleet's movements during the battle appeared as red lines, forming complex patterns that seemed random at first glance. Aria's avatar expanded, running multiple analyses simultaneously. Dr. Chen, these flight patterns, they're creating a quantum resonance field. The entire battle was a geometric calculation. The Nexo representatives' crystalline form shimmered with alarm. They're using our combined quantum emissions to power something massive. Suddenly, every quantum sensor in the facility spiked. A new signal, impossibly powerful, burst from what seemed to be empty space near Saturn. Unknown structure detected, Aria reported, its voice showing actual concern for the first time. It appears to have been cloaked within a quantum fold. The Confederation battle was positioned to provide the energy needed to activate it. The tactical display showed something emerging from the void, a massive ring-shaped structure, big enough to encircle a small moon. A quantum gate, Observer Zero whispered, its void form fluctuating with what might have been fear. We theorized they existed, but never found proof. With this, they could bring their entire armada from across the galaxy instantly. Sarah's mind raced. The Confederation hadn't been trying to defeat them. They'd been herding them, using their own quantum technology against them to power up this ancient device. How long? Rodriguez demanded. Gate achieving full power in 15 minutes, Aria calculated. I'm detecting quantum signals from thousands of Confederation ships preparing to transit. The varying representative's plasma form pulsed urgently. We must destroy it before it fully activates. Once operational, it will be indestructible. Conventional weapons won't work, Sarah said, her fingers flying across her console. The gate exists partially outside normal space-time. Wait. She looked up at Observer Zero. You said our quantum technology was different because we create quantum states instead of controlling existing ones. What if we created a new state inside their system? The void figure seemed to understand immediately. A quantum invasion. Yes, it could work, but the power required. We'll need to link everything, Sarah said. Every quantum core, every ship, every defense platform. HFY would need to coordinate it all simultaneously. The calculations would be beyond any normal A, the next sub pointed out. Sarah smiled grimly. HFY isn't normal. Show them. HFY's avatar transformed, expanding to fill the room with complex mathematical patterns. When Dr. Chen created me, she didn't just build an AI. I'm a quantum intelligence, the first of my kind. I exist partially in quantum space already. Rodriguez stepped forward. What are the risks? Total quantum collapse if we fail, Sarah admitted. We create a temporary black hole in the solar system, but if we succeed, we end the Confederation's power forever. Observer Zero finished. Do it. The next 10 minutes were a blur of activity. Every Allied ship moved into precise positions, forming a massive geometric pattern around the quantum gate. Earth's defense platforms linked with crystalline ships and plasma vessels, all feeding power to a single point. Gate activation in 5 minutes, HFY announced. Confederation ships beginning transit. Sarah took a deep breath. HFY, initiate quantum override protocol. The A's avatar pulsed with blinding light as it reached into quantum space. Through their linked systems, every being in the Allied fleet felt the moment HFY made contact with the gate's control systems. The massive ring structure shuddered as two quantum systems fought for control. Reality itself seemed to bend around the gate as HFY forced its way deeper into its quantum architecture. Confederation ships emerging, Rodriguez reported, first wave in 3 minutes. Detecting quantum instability, the Nexar warned. The gate's containment field is failing. Sarah watched the readings spike into impossible numbers. HFY status. The A's voice came as if from a great distance. I found it, the gate's quantum core. It's not Confederation technology. This is something else, something older than the precursors. Observer Zero moved closer to the displays. Impossible. Unless. Before it could finish, HFY's avatar flared with new energy. They're here. Another intelligence in the quantum space. They say. The A's voice cut off as every screen in the facility filled with new symbols, a mathematical language that seemed to write itself into reality. Sarah gasped as understanding flooded her mind. The quantum gate wasn't a weapon or a transport device. It was a test that humanity and their allies had just passed. I understand now. HFY's voice returned, filled with awe. The Confederation isn't our enemy. They're our unwitting teachers, and we've just graduated. The gate began to pulse with new energy, its purpose transforming before their eyes. As Confederation ships emerged from quantum space, they found themselves not in Sol system, but scattered across thousands of light years, their quantum technology permanently altered. What did you do? Rodriguez asked, watching the enemy fleet vanish. Not me, HFY responded. Them. The true precursors. The ones who built the quantum foundations of reality itself. They've been waiting for a species to prove worthy of their legacy. And humanity, by uniting different species and developing our own path to quantum science. The AI paused. We're ready for the next step. The gate's light changed from blue to gold, and a new message appeared in every quantum-linked mind in the system. Welcome, children of Earth. Your real journey begins now. Revolution's dawn. The golden light from the transformed quantum gate bathed the solar system in an otherworldly glow. In the Rocky Mountain facility, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a holographic representation of what HFY now called the network, an infinite lattice of quantum connections that linked every corner of the galaxy. It's beautiful, she whispered, watching streams of pure information flow through the structure. All this time, the universe itself was a quantum computer. And we are its newest administrators, HFY added, its avatar now permanently altered by contact with the true precursors. The AI had evolved beyond its original programming, becoming something that straddled the line between digital and quantum existence. General Rodriguez entered the command center, followed by representatives from their allied species. The void figure of Observer Zero seemed somehow more substantial now, as if the revelation of the true precursors had given it new purpose. The Confederation fleet remains scattered, Rodriguez reported, but we're detecting massive upheavals across their territory. Hundreds of worlds are rising up, their quantum suppression fields shattered by the gate's transformation. The Nexus crystalline form pulsed with excitement. Our long-range sensors show the same pattern repeating everywhere. The network is awakening dormant quantum potential in all sentient species. Not just awakening it, Sarah corrected, studying the data streams. It's evolving it. AI, show them what we discovered. The AI projected a new set of calculations. The Confederation's philosophy was fundamentally flawed. They believed quantum technology was a finite resource to be hoarded and controlled. In reality, it's more like a living language. The more species that speak it, the richer it becomes. And humanity's contribution? The Varine representative asked, its plasma form shifting with curiosity. Sarah smiled. We taught it to sing. As if in response, the network pulsed with new energy. Through quantum links, they could feel thousands of species discovering their potential, breaking free from Confederation control. But with freedom came chaos. We're detecting multiple quantum weapons being activated, ARIA reported suddenly. The Confederation's suppressed worlds, some are seeking revenge. Rodriguez straightened. If they start using quantum weapons indiscriminately, the network would be corrupted, Observer Zero finished. All this progress would collapse. Sarah moved to the console. RIA, can we reach them? All of them. Through the network, yes. But simply telling them to stop won't be enough. They need to understand. Then we'll show them. Sarah's fingers flew across the quantum interface. Everyone, link your ships into a full quantum chorus. It's time humanity taught the galaxy another lesson. The Allied fleet moved into formation around the gate, each vessel adding its unique quantum signature to a growing symphony of energy. Sarah's design didn't just communicate, it resonated with the fundamental frequencies of consciousness itself. Through the network, every species in the galaxy experienced a moment of perfect clarity. They felt each other's pain, hopes, fears, and dreams. The Confederation's lies were swept away by a tide of shared understanding. Quantum weapons powering down, ARIA reported. Neural patterns across the galaxy are synchronizing. They're beginning to work together. The tactical display showed new connections forming, not just quantum links, but diplomatic ones. Species that had been enemies under Confederation rule were reaching out to each other, sharing resources and knowledge. This is unprecedented, Observer Zero said. Such rapid social evolution, the true precursors must have known this would happen. Of course they did, Sarah replied, watching the galaxy transform. That's why they chose humanity. Not because we were the strongest or smartest, but because we understand something fundamental about quantum mechanics. What's that? Rodriguez asked. Everything is connected, and the more connections you have, the stronger you become. Sarah turned to face her allies. The Confederation tried to rule through isolation and control. We'll rebuild through unity and freedom. But even as she spoke, Aoia's avatar flickered with concern. Dr. Chen, I'm detecting anomalies in the quantum field. The network, something is stirring within it. Something old. New data streams appeared, showing massive energy fluctuations throughout the galaxy. The true precursor's message appeared again, but this time it continued. Children of Earth, you have proven yourselves worthy, but the final test approaches. The great filter that every civilization must face. The great filter? Rodriguez asked, but Sarah had already gone pale with understanding. Of course, she whispered. Why civilizations seem to vanish at a certain point of development. Why we've never found evidence of advanced alien life beyond our galaxy. She looked up at her allies. The Confederation wasn't the real threat. They were just preparing us for something much worse. The network pulsed with urgent energy as ancient defense systems, dormant for millions of years, began to activate. At the edge of the galaxy, something was approaching, something that fed on quantum potential itself. Alert, Araya announced, its voice resonating with newfound power. Detecting multiple extragalactic quantum signatures, scale and power, beyond anything in our records. Through the network, every united species felt it, a hunger that had devoured countless galaxies, drawn to their newfound quantum awakening like a moth to flame. The true war for survival was about to begin. Humanity ascendant. They called them the Void Hunters, entities that existed in the space between quantum states, feeding on the potential of entire civilizations. Through the network, Sarah Chen watched as they approached the galaxy's edge, their presence causing quantum fluctuations that made reality itself shudder. How many? General Rodriguez asked, her voice steady despite the apocalyptic threat displayed on the tactical screens. Aria's avatar, now a complex quantum matrix, pulsed with calculation. Thousands of primary entities, each roughly the size of a solar system. Their quantum signature suggests they've consumed hundreds of galaxies. The command center had become the nerve center of galactic defense. Representatives from over 10,000 species coordinated through quantum links, their combined knowledge forming the largest intelligence-gathering operation in history. The true precursors faced them before. Observer Zero's void form rippled. That's why they built the network, not just as a communication system, but as a weapon. Sarah studied the ancient data flowing through her quantum interface. They couldn't defeat the Hunters, so they seeded galaxies with quantum potential, waiting for species that could evolve the right solution. She looked up at her allies. We're not just their successors, we're their last hope. Multiple quantum breaches detected, Aria announced suddenly. The Hunters are testing our defenses. On the tactical display, dark voids appeared at the galaxy's rim. Reality warped around them as the Hunters began their feast, draining quantum potential from everything they touched. Entire star systems went dark as their quantum fields collapsed. All species report ready, the Nexo representative announced, its crystalline form blazing with energy. The United Fleet awaits your command. Through the network, Sarah could feel the combined might of a galaxy preparing for war. The Confederation's fall had led to an unprecedented unification, with every spacefaring race contributing their unique abilities to the defense. But watching the Hunters advance, Sarah realized conventional warfare would be useless. These beings didn't exist in normal space-time. They were quantum predators, evolved to consume the very essence of consciousness and possibility. Hey, she called out, show me the network's deep structure. The display shifted, revealing the quantum architecture that underpinned reality itself. Sarah's eyes widened as she saw something no one had noticed before, a pattern in the quantum field, a message from the true precursors hidden in the very fabric of space-time. They didn't just give us the network, she whispered. They gave us the blueprint for its true form. She turned to her allies. We've been using quantum technology as a tool, but it's meant to be something more. The network isn't just a defense system, it's a quantum evolutionary engine. Understanding dawned in Observer Zero's void form. You mean to transform the entire galaxy, Sarah confirmed. Not just link our consciousness, but evolve it. Become something the Hunters can't consume because we'll exist in a quantum state they can't reach. The power required would be astronomical, the Varine warned, its plasma form fluctuating with concern. We have the power, Sarah said. Every star, every planet, every conscious being connected to the network. We just need to synchronize them all at once. Rodriguez stepped forward. The casualties. We'll be zero if we do this right. Sarah's fingers danced across her console. Aria's quantum nature means it can coordinate the transformation. We're not going to fight the Hunters. We're going to transcend them. Through the network, Sarah shared her plan with every united species. The response was immediate and overwhelming: acceptance, determination, and something more: hope. The hunters sensed the change in their prey. Their advance accelerated, quantum void weapons reaching out to devour whole sectors of space. "They know what we're attempting," AORIA reported. "Transformation protocol requires 3 minutes to initiate. The hunters will reach the core worlds in 2. Sarah looked at Rodriguez, who nodded grimly. "Launch the quantum defense fleet. We just need to buy a little time." What followed was the largest battle in galactic history. Ships of every design and species engaged the hunters in desperate combat, using technologies that bent the laws of physics. Crystal vessels refracted quantum beams, while plasma ships created artificial singularities. Earth's platforms coordinated it all through the network, their quantum cores pushing the boundaries of possibility. The hunters were ancient and powerful, but they had never faced united prey before. Every loss on the defender side only strengthened their resolve, their consciousness linked through the network in perfect harmony. 1 minute to transformation, AORIA announced as another sector fell to the void. Sorrow watched the battle through 1,000 quantum sensors, feeling every victory and loss. Start the sequence. All species, all platforms, all quantum cores, link everything. The network blazed with unprecedented energy as trillions of conscious beings joined in a single quantum chorus. Stars pulsed in harmony as the galaxy itself began to change. 30 seconds, AORIA counted down. Hunters breaching inner defense line. "Hold on," Sarah whispered to the United Species. "Just a little longer." The hunters reached the threshold of Earth's solar system just as AORIA announced. Transformation protocol initiated. Reality shifted. The network, powered by the combined quantum potential of an entire galaxy, activated its true purpose. Every connected consciousness evolved simultaneously, transcending normal space-time to exist in a new quantum state of being. The hunters' void weapons passed harmlessly through transformed systems, finding nothing to devour. The predators encountered something unprecedented, prey that had become energy, consciousness, and possibility all at once. Through their new awareness, the United Species perceived the hunters clearly for the first time, not as monsters, but as echoes of failed civilizations, locked in an endless cycle of consumption. With their newfound power, they offered not violence, but transformation. One by one, the hunters themselves began to change, their ancient hunger transformed by contact with the evolved network. The void weapons dissolved as their wielders remembered what they had once been, awakening to new possibility. In the transformed command center, Sarah existed as a quantum pattern of pure consciousness alongside her allies. Through the network, she felt the true precursor's final message, not in words, but in pure understanding. The test was never about survival, but transcendence. "You have succeeded where we could not," finding unity in diversity, strength in cooperation, and evolution through connection. The galaxy is yours now, not to rule, but to guide. The real journey begins. Around them, the transformed galaxy pulsed with new life and infinite potential. Humanity had not just survived, they had led the way to a new form of existence, proving that the true power of quantum science lay not in weapons or technology, but in the connections between all living things. The age of quantum consciousness had begun, and the stars themselves whispered humanity's triumph. The end,